So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, already we have been discussed in the learning, the definition, characteristics of learning, factors of learning, and various theories of learning. That is Pavlov theory, then Thorndike theory, Skinner's theory, then Bandura's theory, and Tolman's theory. So then, after completing that one, another the what is it called the learning. That is the applications of learning principles. In the application of the learning principles, two important things. One is the punishment, and then another one is the reward. Then later it is divided the positive punishment in negative punishment. Negative punishment. Then in the punishment and reward are the reinforcement. Reinforcements are mainly positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. In reinforcement, there are some schedules are there. That is called fixed ratio schedule and the fixed interval schedule. And another one that is the what is it's called the next one. What is it's called the variable ratio schedules. That is the variable interval schedule. So these are the important things in the what is it's called the reinforcement, positive reinforcement and negative. Another important concept is what is it's called the transfer of training. In the transfer of training, how the previous things are more useful to the for the learning of the next things. Particularly this transfer of training or transfer of learning. There are three types or four types of that one. Positive transfer of training, negative transfer of training, and the zero training and bilateral transfer of training. These are the four what is called the transfer of learning. There are four types. This is here the question is what is transfer of training? Explain various types of transfer of training. This question is very important. You please kindly pay some attention on that. Then come to the next another chapter, memory. So already we discussed some of the important things. What is it called the memory is nothing but a what is it called the recollection of the past things. That is called the memory. In memory, when you are going to remembering the techniques, that is called the already I told that one. So this remembering or remembering techniques that is called the 5 R's. That is recall, recognition, then retention, relearning, and reintegrative memory. These are the important things. And come to the next one. What is it called? This memory was first introduced, and the more experiments are conducted on memory. Famous psychologist by name Ebbinghaus. He conducted more experiment on nonsense syllables. Nonsense syllables. The nonsense syllables in the sense that what are the characteristics of the nonsense syllables means there are only three letters. In the middle of the letter, it won't give any meaning. In the middle of the letter, that is the vowel. That is the most important. A, E, I, O, U. For example, X, E, M, Z, O, P, and K, I, X, like this. So he conducted more experiments on that one. So how they are going to get the memory, and they find conducting some experiment with meaningful words and meaningless words. So meaningful words are they are going to easily recollecting and they are easily getting the more. but whereas in nonsense syllables, meaningless. So whenever in the meaningful, for example, CAT, cat, that means a small cat is coming in your brain. So a structure is coming. So the cat is like this, like this. But whereas in the nonsense syllables, it won't be any structure. That's why it is very difficult to recollecting our memory that way. That is the main important thing. So he conducted more experiments. If the increasing of the words, it is very difficult to retention is very difficult. So he conducted, remember the more difficulty. So he conducted more 5, 10, and 15 nonsense syllables. So there are so many experiments in MSc level on memory. For example, first they are going to give the 5 nonsense syllables. So first of all, they are going to showing in using of the instrument that is called the memory drum. So on that they are going to show some of the what is it's called the some 5 nonsense syllables, and every nonsense syllables it is going to show the minimum time. It is a fraction of seconds. That is only that is some people say that's 10 seconds, or some people they say that is 15 seconds. So for example, 30 seconds, they are arranging that one. So every word, nonsense syllables, the nonsense word, going to show the 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. So after completing that, then the experimenter is going to asking the subject, you please kindly write the whatever you have seen in the memory drum. Simply is going to write, simply is going to write whatever is in. So how much time he is going to take in the 5 nonsense syllables? The 5 nonsense syllables words are he must write orderly. Five, 5 words write in orderly correctly. Then only he is going to get the 10 words. So 5 it is easy. Is a less material and less memory, less material and immediate learning. But if the material is going to increasing, that is a difficultiness is going to increase. That is the main thing in this experiment. So in the MSc level, they are going to conduct this one. So when you are coming for the MSc, then definitely you are going to do this type of experiments. Then another important thing, in the memory, first thing that is how it is going to process. Memory process. Memory process. In the memory process, first of all, we must know some of the things, how it is going to process the memory. There is what is it called? You please kindly see this page number 31. 31. In process of memory, how it is going to process and how it is going to store. What is the process of that? So there are 3 important things. That is the number 1, encoding, then storage, encoding, storage, and retrieval. These are the important things. These are the important things. Memory is essentially a capacity for storing and retrieving information. 3 processes are involved in memory. That is encoding, storage, and retrieval. So, but we have to give the more information on encoding. That is the most important. How the first item is going to encoding in the brain. Encoding is the crucial first step of the creating new memory. This is the process for receiving sensory input from the environment and transferring into the code, which can be stored within the brain and then recalled later from short-term or long-term memory. The perceived sensation are decoded in the various sensory areas of the cortex and then combined in the brain's hippocampus into a single experience. The hippocampus is then responsible for analyzing these inputs, and ultimately deciding they will be committed into long-term memory. So there are here there are important thing is there are four types of encodes. Number one is the acoustic encoding. Number two is visual encoding. Number three, that is tactile encoding. Number four, semantic encoding. These are the important thing in encoding. Then in the encoding, number one, acoustic encoding is the processing and processing and encoding of sound. This is the most important. What type of sound you are going to listen? So some sounds, for example, when you are going to in music, automatically when you are going to listen the sound, automatically you know the what is the instrument name. So sound is related to the instrument. Some words and other auditory input of storage and later retrieved. This is aided by the concept of phonological loop, which allows input within our echoic memory to be sub-vocally rehearsed order the facilitate remembering. So acoustic encoding, here the another important word, what is it called? The word name is rehearsal. Rehearsals are the most important here. So when the sound is coming, for example, some people they are going to singing some songs. The songs are in some raga. That raga you have to follow. Then when you follow that raga, automatically what is it's called the it is suitable for that song. Then come to the visual encoding. The visual encoding is the encoding images and visual sensory information. Visual sensory information is temporarily stored within the iconic memory before being encoded into long storage. So when you are going to see something, so whatever it may be, it is immediately it will go. That is visual things, visual encoding. So there is a one memory in children that is called there are so many types of memories. We will tell later. The situation will come. Then I am going to say that one. That is called the idiotic memory. Idiotic memory when people are going to, children are very dangerous. When the children are going to see anything, automatically they are going to say. So this is the important. That why children are very, very, very correct memory, and whatever they see, they are automatically they are going to say that we have seen this one, this one, this one. So that's why people are believing the children's whatever they say in the particularly in court and other thing. Then another important thing is the what is it called the visual, but visual encoding is it is only temporary. It is only short time. It is not a long time. It is not a long time. It is only temporary. Temporarily just visualize that. So when you are going to see your friend, so you won't recollect sometimes. Name is when we are going to say that name, automatically the man or woman structure will come in your brain. Then only you are going to, oh, so and so gentleman or so and so gentlewoman. You say that. Then another one is the tactile encoding. Tactile encoding is the something feels that normally through sense of touch, that is called the touch. So when you are going to asking of the particularly, it is related to the what is it's called the blind students. When the blind students, when they are going to touch your hand, automatically they says that, oh, hello, brother. They are going to say your name, then etc. Whether the sex, male or female. So whatever it may be, touching, that is one. And another one is the semantic. Semantic is what is it's called? The semantic encoding is the process of encoding sensory input that has particularly meaning can be applied to particular context rather than the dividing the particular sense. So this is also one of the semantic encoding. Sensory input. Sensory input. That is the most important, this one. So this, what is the four main types of encoding? Then it is easy. Then next one is the, what is it? Say storage. Storage is a, what is it called? The storage. So sometimes the storage is it's a depend upon the, what is it called, the long time, and it is depend upon the short time and other thing. So that is a, after storage, then how you are going to get that retrieval? That is the most important. According to the theories of the memory, can fall at any these three stages: loading, the forgetting. Forgetting, this is most important. Since the process of encoding, then storage and retrieval are related. According to many research studies, memory seldom to be accurate. What is the record of their experiences? Inaccuracy of memory is due to the faulty encoding or not the fixing of the information properly in memory or blessed be retrieval. For example, some of the memory, some of the, what is it called, the some there are some important things, happiest things are recollecting properly, and at the same time, some sad things are also you are recollecting easily. Not recollecting in the so and so date, it will happen, it will happen. When you are going to asking the army man, simply what happened, your leg uncle, and he says that situation, date, everything, simply just like a story. In 1949, what happened, simply he says that a series of incidents. So that is the, some of the, that is the most important, that is in storage of the retrieval. Then come to the another one, information processing model of memory. How it is going to information model. So how it is, what is the process of, here the mainly a famous man by name Atkinson and Shifran theory, they developed in 1968. Okay, what usually memory in the day-to-day life usage of the actually long-term memory, but there are also some important short-term and sensory memory process. So the different types of memory each have their own particular mode of operation. But all the cooperative process of the memorization and can be seen three necessary steps of the forming of the lasting the memory. How you are going to lasting the memory? So there are three processes. That is, what are that three process is? Number one, that is what is it called? Three memory systems. So on the basis of that, there are two psychologists by name Atkinson and the Shifrin's theory. So beautiful books are there. You please kindly buy some books. Atkinson and Hilgard. There is a beautiful book, General Psychology by Atkinson and Hilgard. Please note book. It is a old edition, but if it is available, you please everybody buy that one. There is one of the beautiful book for particularly general psychology. Atkinson and Hilgard. Atkinson and Hilgard. It is general psychology. That is there. It is a beautiful book. So there is a, what is it? He explained so many things. All general factors, that is general chapters are there in that book. General chapter in the sense, introduction, learning, thinking, memory, then personality, intelligence, etc., etc. It is totally related to the, what is it is called, the almost general psychology. That is a beautiful book by name, General Psychology by Atkinson and Hilgard, Hilgard. Hilgard. So if possible, you please kindly buy that one. I think it, when you go to the Hyderabad, you will get some old books, that is in Koti. At Koti, you will get the books. There are so many old books. But that is the same print, there is no change. But if you will get, you are a lucky. It is one of the beautiful book. Almost those who are psychology, when you are going to join in the psychology course, you have to buy some more books. That is most important. But here also they gave some more information. But when you are going to get that new books or the some of the printed books, it is more useful to read sometimes. So try to read more information about the concept. Then only you are a being going to become a psychologist. Three memory process, Atkinson and Shiffrin theory in 1988 is one of the most popular among the information processing theories or models of memory. This model says memory has a sequence of three stages, from sensory to short term or sensory to long term, rather than a unitary process. According to Atkinson and Shiffrin's theory, you could please kindly see the page number 33. 33. When you have a book, please see the 33. So in the 33 page number, three memory systems, how they are going to forget and how much time they are going to stay in that one. So first one, sensory memory, that is sensory memory, short-term memory, long-term memory. These are the three important things. So sensory memory, particularly, it is just temporary storage. It is a temporary storage. Then temporary storage. That is the, what is it called, the, it is a sensory information. So what is the capacity? Capacity is a large, ఎంతైనా ఉంటుంది దాంట్లో. It's a whatever it may be, in large. And another one, duration, ఎంతసేపు, how much time, that is called the, so visual, that is for visual things, it is a fraction of seconds, and auditory, only 2 seconds, 2 seconds. So after that sensory, what happened, what are the, for the last information, for the last things, forgetting the time, how much time it is going to take it. So what are the reasons why the information, what is this called, the lost information, lost, how information after seeing that one, it is going to lost, how it is going to lost. So that is the information lost through, number one, decay and displacement or disuse. So whatever it may be, whatever the, when you are going to forgetting this material, whatever material, you have to forget. What is the reason? You have to read now and then only you are going to recollect easily. That is called the decay and disuse. Decay, some decades you don't use that one. So what happened? It is going to last. Not only even education and memory, whatever instrument, whatever organism you have to use, otherwise it won't be useful for that one. Then come to the information lost through, you please see that one, decay and displace. Okay, next one, that is called the short-term memory, STM. Short-term memory brings the storage for information, what is it called, the information currently being used. What is the capacity? Capacity is about 7 items maximum. 7 items. For example, when you are going to 7 items or 7 digits or 4 digits, when you are going to the chapter span of attention, there is an instrument, what is it called, the tachistoscope. So this first tachistoscope was first introduced by a famous psychologist, Hamilton. Tachistoscope. TACHI, tachistoscope, tachistoscope. This instrument was first introduced by a famous psychologist by name Hamilton. Here there are some letters for some first some what is it called the some stars. Then that is what is the procedure for that? There is a board is there. The subject is going to observe. When you put the 2 digits, then simply it will come 1/10 second. The experiment show that one within 1/10 second, the subject, the experimenter is going to asking the subject, please, what you have seen in this. So this one maximum 7, or some people they are going to 1 to 8 also, 5 to 9 also some people. So that's why in our place in wherever what is it in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the vehicles numbers AP0, AP2039 and 4 members. That is the reason. Maximum the short-term memory is only 5 to 7 numbers or 7 letters. Duration. What the duration? Maximum the duration is only 30 seconds. When you are get down in Secunderabad, so please kindly tell me what is your coach number and what is your seat number. So almost you forgot that one. That is only, it will store only 30 seconds without any rehearsal. That is a short-term memory. But short-term memory, how you are going to last that one? Information lost through that is most important. This one also, decay. Decay means it won't, some decades it won't use. Then displacement. Then another one is the interference. Interference is the most important. So some of the things are interference in your memory. There are 2 important interferences. They are calling as a proactive inhibition. Proactive inhibition. Interference. Proactive inhibition and retroactive inhibition. Retroactive inhibition. So that is interference. Sometimes some interference. You are seriously taking class or hearing the class. Sometimes simply a call will come from your parents or automatically totally disturbed, interfering. So proactive inhibition. Proactive inhibition is yesterday's material is disturbed today's material. And today's material is going to disturb the tomorrow's. Tomorrow's material is disturb the previous day. This is called the proactive inhibition and retroactive inhibition. You please read somewhere. It is a good information. That is also for the cause of the forgetting. When you are going to write what are the causes of the forgetting, at that time you have to mention this one, proactive inhibition and the retroactive inhibition. This is the most important one. How the previous things are the interfere for the later things. That is the main drawback. Here that is the decay and displacement and interference. So these are the 3 reasons for the what is called the information lost through that one. And another one, last one is this is the most important one. That is most important one. This is the long-term memory. Long-term memory is a relatively permanent storage. But what is the capacity? Permanent storage is what is it called? It is a virtually. It is a what is it called? That is relatively permanent store usage. That is Virtually unlimited. ఎన్ని రోజులైనా ఉండొచ్చు. Sometimes it is what is it called? Sometimes more than months, sometimes years. It is a permanent. That is called the long-term memory. Long-term memory is more useful when you are going to write in the examination. You have to send the information to your memory. That memory is going to what is it called? It is storage in long term. Whenever you need, that must become easily, and whatever you want write, it is easily come to your memory and completing your task. That is the. But this one also, what is it called? The duration. Duration is from minute to lifetime. From minute to lifetime. From minute to lifetime. Minute to lifetime means what? Minute in the sense from now itself, it is a lifetime. So కొన్ని విషయాలు, for example, some of the information we won't forget. We won't. Some of the sad things, or sometimes there is an accident occur. In that accident, you are going to lost your some hand or leg. That whenever you see that one, that incident is going to come your brain, and your feelings are so and so date, so and so day, I lost this one. So that one we won't forget. For example, sometimes we won't forget our birthday, and sometimes we won't forget our what is it called, the marriage days, and some of the days. This is the long-term memory. It put into long-term memory. But this also face some problems. Information lost through number one, encoding failure. So if your encoding is not properly, you are going to what is it called? You are going to you are going to get the forgetting. Then consolidation failures, then interference, and motivated forgetting, then retrieval failure. Sometimes for example, there is a famous theory. It's developed by. It's not a theory. There is a part and part of in psychoanalysis. A famous psychologist by name Sigmund Freud. He introduced some adjustment mechanisms. That is a defense mechanisms. There are nearly 12 mechanisms are there. That is called the rationalization, sublimation, displacement, etc., etc., etc. But among that, one of the most important one is the repression. So in the repression, whenever we are going to lose our somebody, our relatives, so at that time we are going to very feeling of the very grief and very what is it called, the sorrow and everything. So slowly what happened? It is going to forgetting. It is going to forgetting. That is called the repression. So it never continue that one, that situation. So that situation is going to in repression. That is called the repression. Sublimation, displacement. There are so many. When we are going to discuss that one, whenever you are read that one, what is it called? The Sigmund Freud defense mechanisms. Simply in abnormal psychology, there is a big chapter is there, defense mechanism. How a person is going to defend their problems. And the defense, they are going to face the problem. At that time, they are going to develop or using of the defense. Then only you are going to happy in the life. If a rich man is going to enjoying, a poor man is going to say that I don't have money, but I am healthy. But he is more money, but he is not healthy. He is always worrying about his money. Simply he says that one. That is called the defense. For example, there is a rationalization. That is a grave story, grapes and fox. In Telugu, it is called Andani Draksha Pandu Pullana, rationalization. Displacement. If you have more angry, you are going to show that you are angry to your children or your parents or your groups. These are the some of the things you please read somewhere. That is called the defense mechanisms. Defense mechanisms. So whenever the sad things we are going to send into, that is repression. Repression. So when today is a very, very, very high sorrow. So it is slowly it goes to slowly forgetting. It will go to store in the repression. It will go to in the store in the hypothalamus. That is called the repression. Repression. That is repression, regression, withdrawal, sublimation. There are so many adjustment mechanisms. These are the very important. We have to set that one. Otherwise, it is very difficult to enjoy our life. Then come to this one. These are the three memory systems. You please note down that is in the, what is it, page number 33. So in the long term, how you are going to lost the information is encoding failure. Your encoding is not properly. You are not reading properly. So that's why it is not coming for that one. There is no clarification correctly answered. So that's why the encoding is failure. Then another one is that is the what is it called the interference. Then motivated forgetting, retrieval failure. Motivated. Some of the incidents you have to forget. Otherwise, it is very difficult. For example, somewhere you are going to fall down by bike from bike. What happened? You have to forget that one. Whenever you go that incident, that road, the incident will come in your brain. So automatically you forcibly motivated. That is called the motivated forgetting. That is the most important. So whenever the happy things must be recollect and the sorrowful things are always forget. That is the most important. Then come to the what is it's called the there are more important thing that is the sensory memory, then short-term memory and long-term memory. These are the most, but the short-term memory, sensory memory or the immediate memory is a temporary memory. Information from the environment is first place, first place. So here there is in page number 34 a detailed, excellent. The editor is excellent, written by the whatever the writer. So sensory memory is excellent. So sensory memory allows the sensation of the visual pattern, sounds, or touches. Then the traces may be lost a little longer, but sensory storage is still fleeting of stay the least. However, the sensory storage has a fairly large capacity. It can register 20 up to 25 stimuli and perhaps more. Only small portion of the information from sensory store transfer to next. Okay, leave it that one. Here, the most important thing is the types of this memories that is called the short-term memory and long-term memory. In the short-term memory, it is a temporary nature of the temporarily, though not nearly as a short lives, and sensory motor. STM is a limited capacity store that can maintain unrehearsal information for about 20 to 30 seconds only. That is the most important. Only 20 to 30 seconds. That is that. So, however, information can be maintained short-term store for longer time or some more seconds engaging the what is it called the rehearsal. If you have a give the rehearsal is the process for the repeatedly. If you are going to give the some rehearsal, we are going to increasing the. So STM holds the limited amount of information, usually 7 plus or minus separate new fact pieces of information once. It cannot handle that is more than 9 items at once. So short term is the already we have been discussing in the just before that in a, what is it called um, the testosterone. So normally the human beings are memory power is only 5 to 9. The more genius is 5 to 9. Maximum that is 5. The common man, what is it called? The memory power is only 5. The genius people, if there are some people, they are going to says that is 8, 9, etc. So another important thing is the what is it called the psychologist Ebbinghaus have the conducted more that another important thing is the what is it called the chunking. What is it? Is a grouping items together can increase the overall amount of information stored SCM. Chunk is a group of what is it, familiar stimuli stored in a single unit. The concept of syncing is not limited to a verbal material. So it also effective for the spatial information. Much of the information in the STM is held in an acoustic form. But normally there are verbal and non-verbal stimuli things. In verbal and non-verbal, when you are going to discussing about that in intelligence, in intelligence, there are the two types of tests: verbal and non-verbal. Verbal tests are used only those who are educated, and the non-verbal tests are those who are uneducated. Non-verbal tests are just like it is uneducated. It is only what is it's called some diagrams. Some, for example, you will take that blocks, Alexander Paslong test, Gauss block design test, then Raven's progressive matrices. There are so many types of Raven's progressive matrices in that APM advanced progressive matrices. Then another one SPM standard progressive matrices. Then CPM colored progressive matrices. These are the matrices of that one. It is used only for that. That is what is it's called the that is only non-verbal test. So non-verbal things are the it is very useful. There are some it is related to some diagrams. So when you are going to in the laboratory, if you, when you are going to conducting a laboratory experiment, it is easy to recollecting that one. So that's why in non-verbal things are normally very easy to memory for that one. So in the short-term memory, particularly, these are the important thing. And the another one that is called the long-term memory. Long-term memory is the most important. This one. The long-term memory, it is also called the permanent memory. Permanent memory. Long-term memory is a permanent memory. It stores a lot of information. Long-term memory consists of information that we use often, that see or hear often. With a conscious effort on and memory techniques, we can store anything we want to remember the. So according to many researchers, long-term memory store has no capacity limitations and retrains it over long period of time. It contains episodic and semantic information. Episodic information deals with the autobiographical events. That is called the episodic. And the semantic information deals with the knowledge of facts about the world. About the world. That is, there are two types of what is it's called the long-term memory. That is, one is the episodic, 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 and another one is the what is it's called the and the semantic information, semantic, SEMANTIC, semantic. So episodic information is related to this autobiography, that is autobiographical events. And another one, the most important one is the semantic information deals with the knowledge of facts about the world. So long-term memory is an unlimited capacity store that can hold information over the lengthy period of time. This is where we store the information acquired the hours or even years ago. So that's why long-term memory, we have to strengthen the long-term memory. That is the most important. Short-term memory, it is not particularly usage. That is, it's only a short period. But long-term memory, particularly all the retained the educational complete the knowledge and language and all the information about the world long-term memory. There are there are some characters, first particularly four, especially what is it's called the four important characteristics. Number one, long-term memory is highly stable. Long-term memory is highly stable. Highly stable. Unlike short-term memory, much of what is remembered today or tomorrow will also be remembered next week. This is the what is it's called the first one. You please note down that one in page number 35. So these are the important four aspects. That is four characteristics, four reasons for the especially. Number two, number one, long-term memory is highly stable, not unlike a short-term memory. Much of what is remembered today or tomorrow will also be remembered next week. Then come to the next one, another one. What is it's called the long-term memory is what is it's called the long-term memory is generative rather than the simply reproductive. Memory is not a literal reproduction of the past. So this is the long-term memory is generated. Long-term memory is generative rather than simply reproductive. Memory is not a literal reproduction of the past. This is the another important thing is the which is not a generative rather than the simply reproductive. And another point, that is third point, long-term memory is influenced by understanding. Understanding. What people remembering is often a meaning or central idea. When we hear a story, what we remember of it's a general drift. It is setting the punchline. When we repeat the story, we don't remember each of the sentence, pauses, gestures, and original storyteller. Instead of we generate our own based upon own understanding of the story. For example, he is going to give some story. That story is a stylish and a systematic and the modern. But whatever it may be, when we are going to what story yesterday the gentleman told that our gentleman told that simply he says that yes, they're totally different, but the concept is same, but way of telling is different. That is the way, what is it's called that. So gestures and sentence, so are different, but the concept is same. And the fourth point, that is what is it's called the some remembered than others. Meaningful material, it is remembered easily. Already I told that one. There is a experiment, word association test. There is a some words are meaningful, and some words are there is no meaning, meaningless. So the Ebbing has also conducted that one, meaningful words and meaningless words. So how the people are going to learn, which one is easy to learn and keep the memory. So after his experiments and he done so many experiments, what his conclusion is, meaningful words are very easy to recollect. That is the most important. That is. So short-term memory is an active memory. It includes currently being thought of. Then the most important distinction between the short-term memory and long-term memory is that one is immediately conscious and the other is not. Other differences between STM and LTM includes, in fact, that as an inactive, ongoing process. STM is easily disrupted by external or internal events, whereas in contrast, the long-term memory is fair, more passive, and far more resistant to disruption. Also, STM short-term memory is a fair, more limited terms of the capacity, being essentially synonymous with active attention or immediate conscious. Finally, retrieval from STM is immediate and automatic. Retrieval from LTM may be far more hesitant and may require search and may results of the discussion. So in the sense, particularly the long-term comparison of the long-term and the short-term. When we are going to discuss that the comparison of the long-term and the short-term, particularly long-term memory is the more useful. So whenever we are going to asking that our brain, simply it will come and we will write whatever. Short-term memory, it is just for a short time that one. Simply we are going to do and we are forgetting. Sometimes particularly names of the people, that is the main drawback. When you are going to travel by the train, when you are get down in the Kachiguda, what happened? After 5 to 10 minutes, you are totally forgetting your coach and your seat number, etc., etc. So this is the concern for the long term and short term. This is the most important one. You please kindly read this one. What is the difference between the long term and short term? But the long term and short term, that is the most important thing. Definitely they are going to ask me. There are three types of processing, that is sensory memories. Before that sensory memories, these two is the most important, what is called the LTM and STM. So in Sunday also you are busy, isn't it? Okay, any doubt please? So very hard time this one for you. Okay, now, do you have any classes in the previous also? That is there is a is there any class today for you? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Computer class, sir.
Yes, which classes? That is what is the? This is cognitive psychology. Then other one. So morning onwards you are busy, isn't it? 10:30 onwards.
Yes, sir.
Okay, take rest. So tomorrow we'll meet again. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss the types of memory. We hope that tomorrow we are going to complete this memory and we'll take another chapter, most important chapter, intelligence. Okay, thank you. Have a nice time. Take rest. So if you have any doubt, please ask. But memory is one of the most important one. But the causes of forgetting is also we'll discuss tomorrow. So why we are forgetting? What is the reason? Why? That is the most important one. Why you are forgetting? Tell me. Any reasons? Why you are forgetting?
Lack of focus.
Lack of
Focus.
focus, lack of interest, then
Lack of understanding.
lack of understanding. Very nice. Then lack of, there is a lack of your health also. That is most important. Then your IQ is also most important. If you are below normal or below normal, what happens? Your memory power is also. There are so many disuse, decay, disuse. If you are not going to use, automatically you are going to forgetting. Okay. So there are so many reasons that one. Okay. Thank you very much. So tomorrow we'll meet again. Okay. Bye. Yes. Any doubt, please? No, no, no.
Definitely.